I am Will Koenig, creator of Mango Republic. This video is to show you how the game plays. We will have a fictional game between a red player and a green player. Each player starts the game with 5 cards. The first card that green will play is Call for Term Limits. This is a Liberty issue card, as you can see at the bottom. Issue cards such as Liberty, Welfare, and Corruption are played in front of the player. This card doesn't give him any activists, however, it does improve his standing in certain parts of the board, including Midtown, which likes Liberty, and the Ivory Towers, which likes Liberty. However, it will hurt him in the provinces, which dislikes Liberty. Over here with the military, which also does not like Liberty. Next, green will play College Fund, add 2 activists to any district. He will place 2 activists in Ivory Towers. Now, because this is not an issue card, it will just be discarded. Next, he is playing Immortal Wombat. Place 2 activists in a district. So 2 more for Ivory Towers. And next, he is playing Beverage Promotion. Place 1 activist in each district. So that's 1 for Ivory Tower, 1 for Midtown, 1 for the provinces, and 1 for the Warrens. Now, that's all the cards that he wants to play. Extra cards can be either saved or discarded. There's an election at the end of each player's turn. He calls for an election in Ivory Towers, where you can count up the votes. Here he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes, plus 1 for his Liberty card. So that gets him 6 votes. So for winning the election, he gets 2 parliamentarians in Ivory Tower. So now, at the end of his turn, he gets his standard 5 cards, plus 2 more for having 2 parliamentarians. So he would get to draw up to 7 cards. Now he would be drawing up to 7 cards. If he saved any cards, that would limit how many he would draw. The red player is going to start off with Franklin's Laundering Service, a corruption card which allows him to place 2 activists in Ivory Towers. Because it's a corruption card, it stays in front of them for the rest of the game. Next, he's playing Child of the Revolution. Add 2 generals for every corruption card you have played. They'll be discarded. However, he has 1 corruption card played, so he gets 2 generals. And next, he's playing Line Up Against the Wall. That allows you to remove an opponent activist or a parliamentarian for every general you control. He has 2 generals, so he's going to remove 2 activists. Finally, red is going to call an election. There are no elections in Fort Peace, and green has a lead in 3 of the provinces, an overwhelming lead. So red will call for an election in Ivory Towers. Let's count up the votes. Red gets 2 votes for his 2 activists. He has a corruption card, but that doesn't matter. For Ivory Towers, they are ambivalent about corruption. Next, green will count up his votes. 1, 2, 3, plus an extra vote for the Liberty card he has played. That gives him 4 votes, and red 2 votes. So green wins. He keeps his 2 parliamentarians. However, because red has 50% or more of the votes that the winning player has, he gets 1 parliamentarian. So at the end of red's turn, he draws his hand up to 5, plus that 1 parliamentarian, for a total of 6 cards. Now, it's back to green. Green comes into this round with 7 cards in his hand. The first card he is going to play is Encourage Squatters. It is a welfare issue card, so he can place 4 activists in the Warrens. So in addition to his 1 he already has there, 1, 2, 3, 4. In addition to that, he will play the Implement Geometric Shape strategy, concept familiar to those in the development world. It's a welfare card. It doesn't give him any activists right away. However, it will improve his standing in areas that like welfare, for example, the provinces and the Warrens. However, it will hurt him in Ivory Towers. Green continues his turn by playing 3-hour provincial tour. Place 2 activists in the provinces. Right, his final card is calling all Luddites. Place 1 activist anywhere on the board. So he will continue to shore up his position in the provinces. It's time for an election. Green will call it for the provinces, where he has 1, 2, 3, 4 votes, minus 1 vote for Liberty, which he's played before, plus 2 for Welfare. Gives him 5 votes. So he handily wins 2 parliamentarians. Now at the end of this turn, he draws his hand up to 5 plus 4, because he has 4 parliamentarians, giving him a total of 9 cards in his hand. Now we're back to red. The first card that red will play is illegal logging. Place 3 activists in the provinces and 3 activists in Ivory Towers. It is a corruption issue card, so it will stay in front of him. Next up is tax cuts. Now this card is limited to members of parliament. Red has 1 parliamentarian, so he can play it. Let's place 1 activist in each district and gain a general. Next up, red chooses to play butterfly ballot, which converts a parliamentarian to his party. However, green is going to stop that with a miracle card. Miracle cards can be played at any time to stop another card. So, butterfly ballot is discarded, and the miracle card goes into its own discard pile. There are 5 miracle cards in the game. With that card blocked, red is going to play 1 more card, be reasonable, adding 1 activist to the provinces. Now he's going to call for an election. Alright, red has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activists in the provinces. He gets 5 votes. Green has 1, 2, 3, 4 activists. Gains 2 more votes for the 2 welfare cards played. Brings up to 6. However, green loses 1 vote for the Liberty card that he has in front of him. So they both have 5 votes. Because they have a tie, they each get 1 parliamentarian. Now red draws cards to bring his hand to 7, 5 base cards, plus the 2 parliamentarians he controls. Now that it's green's turn. If you look at the board, you see that green has more parliamentarians than red. That makes him the ruling party, allowing him to play the most powerful cards in the deck. So he is going to start things off with Stall and Movers, which allows him to eliminate all opponent activists in 1 district. Next, green will play Random Robbery, eliminate 1 general or parliamentarian. Red will block it with the miracle card. However, green has saved up his own miracle card and plays that to block the miracle card. Miracle cards can block other miracle cards. So the random robbery goes through, and green removes this pesky fellow. Next, green plays emergency election. Replace all parliamentarians of 1 district with your own. Now green has all the parliamentarians, but he only has 4. To win the game, you need 5 or more parliamentarians and have complete control of the government, with no other parliamentarians remaining. So for his last act at the end of his turn, green is calling for an election in the Warrens, where he gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes, plus the 2 from welfare, giving him 7. Meanwhile, red has 1 activist, but he has 2 corruption cards played, which give him a -1 vote. Negative votes don't count. Green wins his 2 parliamentarians and wins the game, with 6 parliamentarians for him and none for anyone else. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in Mango Republic, look for it on Kickstarter.